rebuilding. You're right. They should like take a step back. They shouldn't have the expectation to still be a top team.
I cannot believe EDG are here, and I cannot believe that they're one game away from locking in playoffs as our second team this split to be locked in that early. I mean, again, LG locked in the other day, but the fact that EDG could do it in their rebuilding phase of spring, it's just wild as we get into pick and pan for game number 2. 13.4, quick reminder to our audience out there, we had 580 carry bans against Leave last game. He picked up the cog mall because of it. Let's see if LGD follow the same path.
Yeah, I think if there's one takeaway they should have from game 1 is that the 580 carry bans didn't work. They are still going to quit the 3, so at least not wanting to get on some of the most prominent picks left in the meta. It will leave the Ashe open this time around to block that one in immediately. And now it's about how the side of LGD it. I mean, right, theoretically, the Lucianami still being the highest value bot lane duo left open. Do you want to go towards that one? Do you want to maybe pivot into some type of like Jhin lane or, some other bot lane for yourself? You highlighted for LPC that something that he leaned on, even if it hasn't been anything that we've seen too frequently in the meta. It was really only seen coming out a lot against Zaire, sometimes coming out against Varus. Spell Shield being incredibly valuable, but now it's going to be their time to show what they're able to do here.
Well, they're just going to steal away EDG momentum from Arla and JJ's first couple of picks. That strong mid lane that we got from Vovo. Or again could be Xiaoshu. Any kind of direction that, so we get a bit more engaged, bit of range lyric. As EDG, I mean, this is more carry earlier, so you didn't have to leave taking 5 bans, or we just rinse and repeat the usual and get maybe a solo response to Jace before that gets plays.
I wonder if solo lanes can leave the potential flex to come through. Like, we haven't seen Ashe AD carry all that much, but has like 5 times in a row. Like, at least that little bit of flexibility is still always there if you want to wait. And with them showing things like Jace now, you could always look to solo lanes. Let me see, Xiaoshu hasn't played, actually neither one of LGD solo laners. Oh, Shanghai Xiao's played it once. So I guess you don't it's going to go in, but like we said, mostly seen it in the split. So with Sejuani locked in, you'd expect more melee answers. So things like the Yone, the Akali, the Silas being there mid lane, top of plethora of options.
We get a Kai'Sa lock in for Leave. Gentlemen, that's a fun bottom line to play. I apologize. We're experiencing lag on our ends, and because I know there's translating through. It's going at a snail's pace. But we can, if we sound like the thing.
I actually hope robotic car. I hope we sound like robots, because it's always bad when the lag's just an R. People are like, what are the casters saying? It's like, you guys don't realize sometimes we are casting at like one frame per every exactly. No, I think one pixel over like 10 seconds. You know what I mean? But we see the Cassante now locked in for the side of LGD, so at least we know this Jace will go back to the hands of Haichao. You once again have like a very solid front line up in that top side, and Xiaoshu had a tremendous early game, right? It was Meteor the one who set him up, but then he was able to follow through. He was able to find solo kills against Ala. He was able to keep delivering. So I like that they're banning away some of these answers to the Cassante, and also some champions that historically Ala has been known to be incredibly strong at. Things like the Fiora. Jack's already taken off the board by EDG themselves, so they don't have to worry about that one.
Okay, so as we get it off the board, I mean, again, Fiora, we're looking towards those solo lanes. I see an 80 carry ban on the side of EDG just to throw out the pool a little bit here and put LPC in a corner. LPC last game, what was it? It was the Lucian, but everyone doesn't like the Lucianami bottom lane. We've seen enough of it. And Lyric, I'm just trying to find some Blitzcrank quotes just in case we need it. The favorite, of course, has to be a rolling golem, gathers no rust. Or bone is a poor alternative. I hope we do sound still robotic, because then it'd be cool to have a Blitzcrank cuss. You know what? Blitzcrank secretly OP, like Thresh at the moment. Just going to throw that out there. So hopefully we do get that at some point. But if we do sound human, all I can say to you, is there a limited options available? LPC, what has he played? Let me open my little tab. No. We've talked about Sivir already. Jin's there. Draven's been played a couple of times. Nami's been taken off the board, so no Lucian, which everyone loves. Everyone liked that. But Lyric, what goes well with this front line you built up?
Yeah, definitely feel. I mean, if they want to play range, like have Jhin available, and you can just use him as a bit of utility and play for HYCAN. If you need damage, you've already highlighted things like the Draven able to come through if they wanted to opt into that lane and maybe look for an engage support alongside it. So those are their two routes right now. Looks like they're going to go for the Jhin one. So having that ulti to set up for, long range engages, having the follow through from Maokai and Jace there to be able to deal the damage. And now for EDG, looks like Azir might be what Fofo's leaning towards in mid. Again, we still have things like the Akali available if they wanted to go with that and kind of match it with the Sejuani. And then when you're looking at top side, Sion, Renekton, Camille kind of are what's about at me. Sion has been one of our go-to answers, especially when you're running against a lot of AD and a lot of again, very bursty, like lethality heavy champions. I think running more frontline does make a lot of sense. And ooh, are we gonna get to see Elise in mid?
Oh, good point. Or is Ala like Flandre and plays Sejuani top? I think we're past that a little bit, so maybe not. Maybe it is. Yeah. You had a good question of the Lee Sin. It's sad we don't see it. We get Fofo on Azir instead. So I guess some kind of standardized lane.
And so you're using Sejuani a lot more in terms of just like general engage in team fights and being able to set up like front to backs and engages rather than like the pairing with the soul lanes that we typically see it used for so often, right? So very strong front to back for the side of EDG. Also a lot of dive. Both Sejuani and Sion can help set up for the Kai'Sa to be able to get in on that back line and just take out the Jhin. Always be looking for those opportunities, once like curtain calls open, like a Shannon Crystal Arrow into Kai'Sa, just jumping in and deleting him. So where for LGD, it's kind of like a reverse, but not to the same extent, right? It's about Xiaoshu and Meteor kind of playing that front line, allowing the damage to come off from HYCAN and LPC, and then looking for the re-engage. The one difference they have is they have a lot more like long-range pick potential, right? You can use like open curtain call, throw out the Maokai ultimate, accelerate shot blast, and potentially look to delete a member of EDG, even if they're just slightly disconnected from their team, right? Usually you got to be very far forward or like really off page to be picked off, but with the amount of long-range engage tools that LGD have, someone who's slightly far forward can be picked off, and then you could try and turn a fight with numbers advantage.
But Lyric, I will say, if this game goes on, how do you do damage to not only a Sejuani but a Sion with a Jhin Jace?
You don't. You don't at all. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, look, I'm a little bit concerned. We can talk about it getting into game, but LGD, what they're fighting for is just a chance of getting into playoffs this split. EDG are fighting for playoffs right here. They're going to make it regardless. They're at 9 wins. They could literally sit on their back and just chill, roll up a wrap like I did in the break and just start munching. They'd still probably make playoffs anyway. EDG this split, though, can be the second team to lock it in right here, right now, right with Game 2. All they have to do is smash LGD in the ground and say we're the champions, and they'll be looking pretty good. And remember, EDG actually, Lyric, their schedule is so good. They have AL after this. Then they have OMG, FPX, TT. I think EDG are going to finish 14-2.
Yeah, we've seen EDG already play against the top dogs, and that's why maybe people who are just coming into this pregame tour are like, why are they hyping up EDG for beating LGD? Like, LGD are 4-7. They should be expected to win. It's not just isolated them winning that game. It's the fact that they've looked great this split. They're on a win streak right now. They've taken down LNG and Weibo in their 2 most recent wins. 2 other teams, LNG right now, sitting at the top of the table. And Weibo have been like incredibly up and incredibly down, but still a team that has the talent to be able to contend with anyone. And EDG have just been making it look, I guess not necessarily easy, but it's been confident wins for them. It's wins that make you believe in this team, and you can see how they play when they're ahead. You can understand how they play when they're behind, and it really looks like this 5-man unit is just insane.
Easier than expected, right? Again, it's such a surprise, but still a great side. Game number 1 will be real. First 10-15 minutes was LGD favored. EDG getting a little bit sloppy up in that top lane, but the comeback was insane and just kind of showed the class of this team. As we'll keep our eyes on bot, though, because the different style of playing, guys. Jhin versus Kai'Sa feels nice as an off change, as Leave had a lot of champions banned against him again, but LPC, a lot of resting on him in this game number 2. As Leave and Mako already getting some good trades here against Jin Jiao and LPC.
this time around, I also feel a lot better about, you know, last time we had like a very stark disparity in comps, right? One that wanted to kite back and one that wanted to look for the all-in. This time, EDG's comp is a lot more like fluid and well-rounded. You have opportunities to engage. You have range coming out in the mid lane. You have pick tools like the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. So you have a lot more avenues to be able to play from. So I have even more confidence in EDG this time around, where LGD, again, we're questioning damage as the game goes on. So we definitely want to be seeing them find advantages early. Maybe not necessarily right in laning phase. A lot more once ultis come online at level 6, and we can start seeing things like the curtain call really start influencing the game. Things like the Maokai ult really start influencing the game, and then you're putting a heavy burden on HYCAN this game to be the one to be able to take over.
So laning phase is going to be as important as always. Deadly Flourish to connect after the little photon grenade from Hangzhou. But the trade is reciprocated yet again. Push in from Leave and Mako, as you can see now as well. Meteor's hovering on the edge of this blue buff, thinking about if he can find anything bot, but Jeje has made the same path down on the bottom side. And he's going to be there in a hair's breadth if anything goes wrong. So lanes will continue playing out pretty calmly for the time being. As I want to point out, speaking of lanes, I mean, Fofo's already having a great start here in mid. HYCAN behind like 3-4 CS already, and he's got it back.
Fofo just doing a great... I mean, if there's one champion I do associate with Fofo, it is this year, right? Time and time again throughout his career, leaning on this pick. Most played champion in the LPL right now, doing a great job with those soldiers to find the poke opportunities. So HYCAN does go for the recall, coming back. Tier longsword in pocket. So right now, just going to be playing to stack that up and try to find an impact in the mid game, right? That's what LGD are angling for. We said they want to find an advantage. Doesn't necessarily need to be now, but once we start to see like first item spikes online, that's when they really need to get going. So just going to hope to find opportunities until then to get them in a place where they'll be strong later.
Like this, Meteor flash in. The twisted advance is good. Bramble smash good as well. Meteor takes another turret shot, but it's not enough to kill him. And that's first blood over to LGD.
Meteor had an insane game 1 in the first 10 minutes. He was ganking left, right, and center, finding a lot of really odd timings and making it work. This time around, just clears towards bot, has the patience to wait around, and they guarantee a kill going over. Not to LPC, but still going to get it on Hangzhou, and even if we get the Heimer closer to his break points fast, and we've been seeing he's been doing a lot of damage in these early trades. Xiaoshu. Again,
same thing. LGD's early game, just going well all round. And I will say last game, you know, the only lane that was really suffering was HYCAN's. Fofo had a bit of a CS lead through mid and was just chilling and breezing his way through to a bit of a gold advantage. This time around, you can say the same thing. 10 CS advantage up in this top side. Arla's getting some of the CS denied as well. That's a third one. And that's a fourth one. So Arla going to sit on 27. Xiaoshu going to clear out this wave. And even though he can TP back in Lyric, it's just great to see Xiaoshu firing again through this laning phase.
Yeah, again, Xiaoshu really has just been, like, I'm excited to see where this guy goes in the future. Yeah. Just with how promising of a first split he's shown, because coming from LPL, we've seen a lot of times with, like, players, it's usually hit or miss, right? You either come in and you have, like, performances like Wayward did, you know, towards the start of the year last time, you're like, oh my god, this is insane. Or you kind of come in, people like Captain and mid lane for TT, where there's a lot of hype, and, like, maybe had they been given more time, like Forge had many splits and got to improve, they could be there. But, you know, it's one or the other. So getting to see Xiaoshu come off to a great start in his first split is what you love to see.
It's going to get flipped back here. Ulti's going to come out all out again. Arla, rinse and repeat, but this time he has an escape and stopped out, but Xiaoshu still owns this lane. But remember, Arla just TP'd back in. Lyric, he now has no ulti if he needs to back again, so he's forced to stay here.
Yeah, Xiaoshu's going to have commanding control of this laning phase. I want to bring our attention down to bot, assuming it, I don't think a dive should be able to happen in this lane with the fact that there's no ultis available, but look at bot lane. 4 members of LGD actually posturing down there. It looks like Dragon's going to come on through. EDG not even going to be able to have a response, so, you know, this early game going a bit awry isn't the end of the world for EDG. We mentioned that they have like a great front line as the game goes on. You have it as Azir's going to be able to shut a ton of damage. Fofo's been able to find a meaningful lead. So, not the end of the world for EDG, just nice little... We'll say the icing right now is being made, bro. Yeah. The icing on the cupcake of victory.
Hey, they didn't have a dragon first time around last game, and that now gives a barrier in case they get this crazy steal again on EDG's side. So, LGD just stopped the I's, crossing the T's.
What flavor of icing do you think LGD would be made?
Well, I hate cake, right? So I'm probably the wrong person to ask about this. People go, "Oh, how can you hate cake?" Dude, I love ice cream cake from Macca's, and I love cheesecake. Both of them aren't real cake.
Wait.
Cake is
Macca's
too
has
crummy,
ice cream
too
cake in
slice.
Australia?
Yeah, don't you have a Macca's ice cream? With Macca's birthday parties, you'd get an ice cream cake. It's the best thing ever.
I gotta be real. You might hate cake, and I love cake. I hate ice cream cake, so I don't think I would know if Macca's had ice cream cake.
By the way, if I leave, I don't know why you hate. How can you hate ice cream cake?
I'm not a big fan of cold things in general. So cold weather, snow, ice cream in general, ice in general. I'm just cold. Cold is bad.
Not always, man. Not always, dude. I love eating ice cream when it's like 5 degrees as well. If only Sydney got to that temperature, I'd be eating ice cream all the time. I love freezing
ice cream is better
internally.
cold. This curtain call.
Is Leaf gonna die? He has no cleanse, but he does have the flash. Fourth, a healed up Maker, a real bro as he gets out, but good to see that LGD's lanes are actually going red hot this game too.
And it's something you wouldn't have expected of LGD. Like, not only the fact that they're 4-7, and again, like we saw in Game 1, have these promising performances, it's the fact that it's in the early game. It's in the laning phase where typically players who are like being brought in, players like LPC, players like Xiaoshu, HYCAN, who's relatively new, that's where they're not able to contend, but that's where we have been able to see them hold their own so far in the LPL. We can see now Herald gonna go over to Meteors. A lot of like little quick trades coming out for both sides, but for LGD, you would expect them to want to use this probably down towards the spawn side. Like, you've already gotten 2 plates up towards top lane, as you can see Ala running there now. So I guess you could open up that lane, but I don't know if like getting more gold on the Xiaoshu or opening up the map really does that much for your composition. So them setting either like HYCAN up for success and trying to get that one down, or using it to really start breaking open bot lane, I feel like would be the smarter play. But Meteor up
He's in
towards top
trouble.
now.
Ala is in the middle of the field. He's just burned the ulti as well. You see a Nature's Wrath fly through on the right-hand side of your screen, and you know that Meteor's now here yet again. The bounce out for Ala. Surviving for a while, but now Cassante does damage. The flip dodged away from Ala's really trying, but Ghost is popped too. How long can he run? And the answer right there in front of you yet again here as Xiaoshu won't be a solo kill this time, but he yet again is cleaving Ala in the early game.
In Game 1, Xiaoshu's advantage kind of stemmed from jungle intervention, right? Then he was able to like use that small advantage for himself and be able to win it hard. This time around, sure, the gank is what just gave him the kill, but Xiaoshu has been just commanding this lane. 30 CS lead so far. He's denying more minions. Ala still doesn't have TP to get back. He just ultied to lane. Like, every time Ala comes to lane, Xiaoshu, and now Xiaoshu and Meteor able to find ways to capitalize. Look at that, 2.8K to 4K for Xiaoshu, already going to pick up the Jack show.
And the worst part is that if you go to Woolworths, you can't get McDonald's ice cream cake. Like, they just don't sell it anymore. You can only get the Freddo one, or you can get the, it's like a Cadbury one as well, which I think is Freddo too. But as I go to shopping, Lyric, Cadbury Freddo cake or Peter's ice cream cake, like, they're similar, but it's not the same as the Macca's one. And so, I don't know if anyone's out there can send me a DM. It's not in their dessert menu, and let's be real, the ice cream at McDonald's doesn't work anyway. I don't know if you have the same problem at Lyric. Dude,
no,
do
that's
you
true,
have the
that's
same
true
issue?
everywhere. That's true everywhere, brother. Everywhere I've been everywhere in the world, McDonald's ice cream doesn't work.
Oh my god, like, I just don't understand it. It's honestly as rough as getting solo killed by Cassante. Like, both things go hand in hand here as Herald gets shot towards mid. 30 seconds towards Dragon, Jeje interrupting. It's going to be a permafrost, but Poco has the ulti. Slide in, baby. But he gets the flash instead. Meteor's out. As meanwhile, the bottom lane, Lee just ulti's in melee range. Xin Zhao is now dead, and LPC goes wham, bam.
Ooh.
Number four, where is he? Where is she?
I gotta say, even though both find kills, the fact that Leave is one who goes down on one side, Juju on the other, LPC now gets pushing the wave. He might even get the threat to play. I think he sees that Sejuani's coming down, so I guess not too much going to be able to gain or be denied off the back of this, but still, you'll take this every time as the Jhin. We're going to get to see the replay of what went down. Both bot lanes wanting to follow up with the engage in mid, and it sets up the root lands, able to follow on through. Xin Zhao getting a lot of key damage down with those turrets, and then LPC fork shot online. The ulted turret's still there. just sets up for that kill to come on through. So great job by Jinja to really be the one to set that up with the damage. I mean, we saw LPC the one hitting the skill shot as well to guarantee it comes through. I do believe the grenade came out first, but yeah, LGD's bot lane having a much better showing this time around.
Look, this time around, when it needs to be said that, you know, the poke damage that comes out, you know, the picks that come through, the lead that needs to be found has to be there for LGD. It is a good sign. They're 2,000 gold up just about again here before the laning phase really ends. But Dragon's now live. EDG have reset. They're here first. They've got the push in. JJ sitting in river waiting for Rift Herald's daughter. And as she goes down, now the AoE. Actually, the AoE from the blue Scorch Putt. It's not Scorch Putt. What is it? Iceborn Sun. Something like that. It's the blue one, whatever. The pet.
Yeah. I don't know it's the blue one as well, yeah.
I don't understand. Arrow comes through though. Fofo, the slide. That's strange. Why did the soldiers fly on the other side? I guess he used it late as Fofo has to flash over the wall. Xiaoshu's here, he gets run into, but I think Fofo's just gonna die. As HYCAN looks for the auto attack, the range won't be enough, so he goes to Hammer. And LGD get to pick up the back end. They get the Dragon as well. EDG, things ain't looking good here in Game 2 as well.
And we're getting to a point where EDG are going to need to chill out, leave, chill out, leave.
Oh, here you go. Curtain call 1, 2, 3, and 4 flashed away from. And the last moment, Leave survives.
So, you know, I was saying I don't like icy things, but EDG need to enjoy the snow, put the feet back, eat some ice cream, get a defensive vision line down,
True.
and, you know, stop, like, prevent. EDG gave over that fight, right? EDG were the one looking for the pick to set up for Dragon. And, like, you can understand it. Enchant Crystal Arrow comes out. They have the vision gear. They want to be able to find this. But, like you said, I mean, ulti doesn't follow through. I believe HYCAN on the flash timing, even regardless, had it come on through. And then Fofo, having nowhere left to go, he's going to be able to go over with the fact that him not having any cooldowns left open after going for the play. And, yeah. This is where LGD's comp is really going to start spiking. Things like the Youmu's coming on through. We have Rylai's now picked up for Jinzhou. And for EDG, we highlighted their front line and how hard they're going to be able to take down. But LGD have a very respectable front line, too, in Xiaoshu. And you're going to need Fofo to have some items under his belt before it's really going to get easy to whittle these members down.
There's just something about LPL members that have Xiao in their name, that they end up being, you know, top tier. Xiaohu, Xiaoshu, Xiao Sheng had some banger games on EDG.
Xiao Wei Xiao was the top player in LCS.
Oh!
He came from LPL?
Yes. Who else we got? Who else was small? You know, again, Xiao meaning small in Mandarin, guys, if you don't already get that. Who else do we have that was Xiao?
He hasn't debuted yet, right? But TT have Xiao Hongren, which, you know, a lot of people are incredibly hyped for him to make his stage debut on point.
Wei Xiao, great 80 carry, you know, before our time, but still has Xiao at the end of his name.
I feel like we're forgetting some, but there are many Xiaos. Is Xiao Shu?
Oh, Xiao Long Bao, ulti from Fofo. Let's not forget, XLB, Xiao Long Bao is his name. We're going to keep going. There's surely one we're missing.
There is, but for now we're going to focus on LGD, potentially not missing out on this Herald. JJ, Smite's about to be up. So, okay, I was going to say, they might try to bring it down to just a Smite steal, not actually look for an engage, but the fact that they commit the Xiaoshu TP here is what makes EDG say, hey, we've gotten enough. We made it so Cassante won't be able to keep up this insane amount of pressure bot side. But Fofo did TP bot just now to get this wave in. I don't think he should really be able to get any pressure on the turret because they know Xiaoshu's making their way back down. So now just gives Fofo a bit of a window, make his way into his own jungle, clearing out these camps. It seems like EDG are now realizing, hey, like we do need to take our foot off the gas a little bit, play for some of these item spikes to come through, as we can now see Leandri's Kraken Slayer being picked up by their carry duo.
Oh, yeah.
Still not matching the potential power on the other side. I believe HYCAN should also be either on a back or pretty close in the back to be able to finish up his first item. So LGD going to be able to keep going forward with their momentum as we see him recalling now.
Going back to 2021, I found TT Xiaopeng at the time. Banger. And I also remember we had another...
I miss Xiaopeng.
Dude, it was great. Just side note, there was another Xiaohu, but HU instead of... hang on, no, that's the current one.
that is the Xiaohu.
There was another. No, because it was Xiaoshu versus Xiaohu. That's why I'm getting confused. Oh, I'm like, oh yeah, there was one called HU. That's literally the current one. Guys, too
Oh
many
wait, there
people.
apparently was just a player called Xiao. I don't know if you already said that one.
Oh, was
there?
there?
Was apparently a player called Xiao 2.
That's the one. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Xiao Sheng? I remember that.
Dude, I said that. EDG's top
Xiao
laner.
Bai?
Oh, Xiao Bai. That was the top
Xiao
laner as
7?
well. Oh, there's a Xiao 7 in the LDL right now. That's right.
There's a lot. Okay, you know, this will be the last one. Xiao Sao Bao. I remember.
Oh, yeah, okay. Good one. I think you capped it off because the pick on the Jin Zhao. Close call. Leaf ran into his heat, cuts the close. He's got no flash. It's turning into a fight. Meteor jumps in. Leaf kites away, but he's caught it up and dead. JJ flashes out too. LGD on the chase. This Fofo gets out in the nick of time, but 30 seconds till the Dragon. And once again, EDG, what are you cooking?
We actually need to stop getting derailed because LGD is showing us they have a real chance of just commanding this game so far, almost taking the 3K gold lead. Herald is going to end up getting the charge. Mid won't outright turn into a turret, but still, look at the pressure they're keeping up on bot side. Completely littered with LGD's wards. Should set them up very nicely for a Dragon, and Haixiao not going to allow Ala to find some top side. And Shannon Crystal Arrow's about to be up, so maybe they look for a pick.
Ulti out. Okay, Ala tried his hardest. He's trying to get past the turret, remember? That's Haixiao's turret as he flashes away. In the meantime, no, Xiaoshu gets bottom side turret while Dragon goes down.
I think they could have been more patient because Mako's arrow had just come up, and it seemed like maybe they were hoping if Ala connects with ult, they turn that into a Shin Crystal Arrow. But if you're going to commit both Sejuani and Ash to going top anyway, I think you can play that a little bit slower, guarantee the CC to come through once Mako is here, and then try to turn that into a pick. So EDG not going to find a kill, not going to find a third off of that because of a bit of rushed gameplay.
I just feel like EDG, the second game, showing us the same mistakes from game one. But it's gone beyond. As we look at the replay again, let's just look at this. I mean, Lee's been aggressive all series long as usual, but unfortunately they just didn't have enough damage yet.
No, and it's like you're saying, I feel like it's a bit worse than game one from the fact that a lot of it's coming down to EDG forcing these plays, not reading again, where members are, complete pushing control for LGD in that bot side river. Sure, they had vision of the Heimer specifically, but really no one else to be able to follow through. And then just overestimating the damage, like you're saying, to be able to take him out. So, to our last game, it was LGD doing a great job of like finding these picks in laning phase when players are locked to their lane and you are able to find, you know, create opportunities with ganks. So it's EDG the ones creating these fights.
Just sent out with Zoe this time. Lyric, you wanted to see a bit more patience. That was a good mitigated play.
This time, they do see Xiaoshu in bot side. He's pushing out that wave. They see Jin catching waves in mid, so they know they have numbers. So a lot more of a calculated play here from EDG, and they're going to turn it into a top lane turret. They're covered in bot. LGD might be able to respond in mid as they've rotated Xiaoshu up, but we'll see here how confident Leave is to stay.
Arrow got him instant cleanse out. Deadly Flourish dodged away from Xiaoshu taking no damage. Dude, run away from Kasate. Run away from Kasate. Xiaoshu with the ulti still there, tries to jump back in. Meanwhile, the fight here, the knock-in-two. Ala just nukes the Heimerdinger. Take that, Science. As Xiaoshu now in a 1 versus 2. He's not going to be stunned up or slowed down. Lee's going to stand behind Frank the tank with a bit of a milk tank vibe going on at the same time. Meteor's getting poked down, and LGD don't do this. LGD, you're in control. You're in charge. Don't throw it all away now.
We have action going on everywhere on the map. Poor Jin Zhao, man. LBC flashing out of the way of the ulti, as he needs to do, right? But leaving Jin Zhao just fodder for EDG to clean up. I'm sure yeah, so that's going to be the replay, but we're going to get the arrow coming out, having to force the cleanse, and then leave. Again, so confident in where he's able to play, but look at Ala coming in. LPC, he has to flash away, but Jin Zhao has no flash because of the previous engagement you saw. And that man, I mean, Jin Zhao just has nowhere to go. He is just going down, trying to rotate to answer the play, and he's going to regret that. Going to regret that for at least the next 40 seconds.
There's always those League cinematics, and they put like Gallios in it and Scions versus Aurelia, and it's like, oh, at least they're comparable. You know, the Yordles are very rarely in it. Imagine Heimer versus Scion in the cinematic. How would you take him seriously? Like, he puts a turret down, puts a big turret, and Scion just cleaves it in two and rampages into him. There's a reason Heimerdinger isn't in the cinematic, guys. He's a scientist. not the biggest fighter. He plays from afar, and Zion runs into him, as we just saw there. The dangerous world as the arrow followed through. Meteor's just ran into it again. Arla is playing an ulti game now. He's blocking for Fofo as he stands there. And Lyric, this is a concern we had. No damage from Jin into the meat tank.
Exactly. I was just about to say, we're getting to the point where Ala now has a couple items under his belt. We're getting to the point where he can just shrug it off. They're going to try to bait out this Baron and turn this into a fight. They still have engage tools coming out. Fofo has the Emperor's Divide.
Let's try. Mako's going to space it out. He's burned double summons in the process. No Baron steal. They go for the all-in. Shaku gets him over the wall. Leaves by himself, but flashes back over. Needs his team. Somebody help the AD carry. He failed the flash. Like, where is my team? Team! Kazante is doing his thing as Arla gets flipped around as well. Jin Zhao the next target, but Arla can't do too much. Xiao Shu with the solo carry, man. What is it with the Xiaos in the LPL and taking over games?
I love how he just looks so, like, just relaxed after that situation. Taking her down 4-0-3 on the Kazante. And now no Barons. No Barons to have to contend with on the side of EDG. You keep up your gold lead. You're going to break down more structures. And you're even going to come back on the map first for Drake. I got to say, the plan from EDG I think is solid. The problem is the execution because, look, they're all on different pages. Xiaoshu runs in, and Fofo tunnels. Fofo's like, hey, I'm going to get on the back line. He goes one way, but now the other members of EDG left in a rock in a hard place. They want to follow Fofo, but it leaves Leave having to contend with the Kazante by himself. Some of the members quickly scurry back to try to help him out. Then Fofo dies and Leave dies, and really their focus is just all over the place.
Oh no, and now there's a Mountain Soul up for grabs. They're zoned out. Mako might die as well. Thank you for the Mountain, thank you for the music, and thank you for the contribution. Bye-bye, Mako, and hello, LGD in game number 2. Playoffs to be locked in by EDG with EDG, with the series win. But LGD aren't giving it to them for free.
And again, all of this off the back of, I don't think the Baron play was bad. Like the Baron call, just Fofo tunneling so hard. Xiaoshu now can run down Leave again.
Leaf's caught out. He's got no summoners. Leaf's caught out with no summoners. All out again. He's stunned up by the Heimadonga rocket weird grenade splashy thing. But LGD get another one. EDG, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, LGD, we're going to game 3. I'll say it now. I don't know if I curse LGD, and if I do, I'm sorry, but just doing so well. Another pick found.
What are you doing?
This game, they have just looked so lost from the very start, right? Again, them giving over the lead. A lot of it was them looking for proactive plays, getting punished with the lack of vision, lack of setup, lack of power spikes coming through. And now LGD, I think, should be able to easily turn this into an inhib. Ala right now is in mid. I'm kind of surprised they don't feel more confident to stay. Sure, Leave is coming back up, but I guess just the lack of ultis available. Jin Zhao's still down for a little bit. But Meteors is up. HYCAN's, I mean, HYCAN doesn't even need this, right? Can just keep their accelerated shot class. But going for the safe play, wanting to maintain their gold lead, and more importantly, I guess, get some more items under their line because they did have a lot of standing gold. Kales now finished up for Jin Zhao. We can see Xiaoshu, I believe, only just picked up the components right now for his next item. What is that? Warden's mail, Warden's plate, something along those lines.
Yeah. Same thing. It's the same thing. Warden's mail.
Yeah, there we go.
Lyric, JJ's he caught out. He went in by himself. Arrow to save the day. Xiaoshu's just channeling down because with a Mountain Soul, he takes no damage. Now, Maokai ulti comes through as well from Meteor. It's just a Hail Mary being thrown left, right, and center at this point.
It's been confusing. After all the praise we were giving them in the first game, I feel like the early missteps aren't as bad because as we saw, they realized, hey, even if we give over a little bit of like a gold lead, it doesn't mean all too much. It really is just coming down to that one Baron fight that just gave such a huge swing to LGD, not only in terms of the Baron, but the fact that death timers were even so long at that point, Dragon was so soon, that it gave LGD the free soul.
Now they're setting up for HYCAN. A pick, yeah. How can you? Arla sets out from the brush. JJ's still here. And Xiaoshu's running the map while Demolish is going to help him and LPC get this turret. Top side not really doing too much. In the meantime, so LGD playing it cool while arrows get thrown out. Arla just ultied again at a melee range. but LGD have the inside track on mid. I mean, for a top-tier team, LGD are playing a little bit goofy. Sorry, EDG.
I was going to say, but EDG out
LGD are playing goofy at all.
LGD keeping up the pressure in 2 lanes as well. You can see Jace pushing down there in bot. It even looks like their wave is making their way up towards top side, even if slowly. JJ might be caught out.
What is he? What?
I don't know. Looks like maybe EDG just saying, hey, let's get to next game. Try to collapse in there. Xiaoshu finally just runs him down.
And again, we do the dance. Xiaoshu is controlling this game, had a good game 1, and game 2 he's doing the same. Rooted up. I mean, Xiaoshu's like, okay, now we go for another. Ala has to flush away. Turrets down. No defensive maneuvers. Mako now caught out as well. EDG just like pack it in. Go to game 3 and sit on this one, because I don't know what this is, but this ain't our top team. Ain't our top team at all. LGD are going to end it here.
Well, yeah, what's going LGD? I mean, again, kudos to LGD. They're pushing the base.
True.
They got the kills. I mean, people like HYCAN, Meteor, once again stepping up. LPC and Jinzhou this time around having a much better game. They are going to finally take down EDG. But, you know, for every great play LGD were making, because once again, phenomenal early game. That is just them on their own. Great performances. But the missteps from EDG were just so weird, so uncharacteristic from them, and time and time again. And as the game went later, it really did. I hate to say this, but it really did just look like they didn't know what to do. They had no idea, like, what